relative frequency. That is what we are going to look at today. Please subscribe and join. What is relative frequency? In many situations, although we can't know the exact probability of an event happening, but we can use relative frequency to calculate the probability of the event happening. Assuming now you conduct an examination, mathematics examination for 100 level student, and the pass mark is 80 and above. So to calculate the relative frequency after conducting the examination, you are now going to count the number of the successful candidates, that is those that get 80 and above, and you divide it by the total number of the students that carried the examination, and that is how to calculate the relative frequency. So we can conduct experiment to determine relative frequency. Examples of the experiment, like the examination that we just talked about. You can give a treatment to a drugs. You can give treatment of a particular drugs to a particular disease. It's an experiment, and you can calculate the relative frequency. So that is what relative frequency is one of the type of frequency distribution that we usually use to summarize the data. So you can give a different concentration of the drugs, and based on that you can calculate the relative frequency to see the best concentration that cure the disease or that reduce the disease pathogenesis. So let's take an example. Example 1. Let's say you conduct or you survey 30 friends about their preferred cookie flavor, and 13 friends choose chocolate chip. So you see, you conducted a survey here where you have 30 friends, and each of them they have their preferred cookie flavor, and 13 friends choose chocolate. So the frequency here is 13. That is the number of friends who choose chocolate chip. So this is the frequency. And then the total number of the friends, or the total number of the people that the survey were conducted, are 30. So from here you can easily calculate the relative frequency, which is 13 divided by 30, and this will give us 0.4333. Relative frequency can be calculated as percentage relative frequency, which is times 100. So it's going to be the number of the successful trials divided by the total number of the trials times 100. That is the percentage relative frequency. So if you multiply this final answer with 100, we are going to get 43.33%. So this is how to calculate the relative frequency. And very importantly, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to please subscribe and join my YouTube community for more videos. Then the next example, this is a table where you have the score range and the frequency. And of course, if you can remember, the relative frequency is calculated as the subgroup count divided by the total count, or you can decide to use the same formula as discussed previously. So you see, the score range, we have 60 to 69, we have 70 to 79, and we have 80 to 89, and we have 90 to 100. So this score range, the number of the student that scored between 60 to 69, there are 5. So that is their frequency. And then 70 to 79, there are 10. 80 to 89, 8, and 90 to 100 they are 7. So to calculate the relative frequency for each of these, we are now going to take each frequency divided by the total number. So now if you take 5 plus 10 plus 8 plus 7, it will give us 30. So to get the relative frequency, we are now going to say 5 divided by 30, 10 divided by 10, 8 divided by 8, and 7 divided by 10. And that is how at the end we are able to get the relative frequency of each of the score range. So for the relative frequency, we have, after calculating, we have 0.167, we have 0.333, we have 0.267, we have 0.233. So to calculate the percentage relative frequency, we are now going to multiply each of these relative frequency with 100. And that is how we arrive at 16.7%, 13.3%, 26.7%, and 23.3%. So sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you may be given the range of numbers and you will be given frequency, and from there you will be asked to calculate the relative frequency and the percentage relative frequency. So sometimes you might not be given in table, so it is your work to put everything in table and clearly explain. So that is what we call, okay, that is how we calculate the relative frequency. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe and join my YouTube community, as we have a lot of videos on biostatistics. We have some exercises, and these exercises, we have them in some of my YouTube videos, and we also saw past question papers. So you can always have access to those videos if you subscribe and join the YouTube community. Thank you very much, and see you next.